Our guest is Mr. Toivo Klaar, European Union Special Envoy to the South Caucasus. Thank you. Your visit follows Washington announcement that Armenia-Azerbaijan negotiation will take place in Brussels soon. Are there any clear arrangements?
There are no specific dates, but yes, of course, we are working in that direction, and that is a reason why I'm here in Yerevan.
And is it about a meeting at the level of heads of state?
That is obviously the aspiration, and from our perspective, it is very important to reinvigorate the Brussels process because we and President Michel personally see great importance in it and attach great value to it.
Maybe you can mention an approximate date?
No, not at this stage.
Mr. Klaar, how do you see the solution of the situation in the Lachin corridor? In fact, even the decision of the International Court didn't make Azerbaijan unblocked the corridor yet.
Well, I see certain interesting developments over the past few days, and we have seen now reports about the restoration of electricity and gas, and in that context, I am hopeful that perhaps things are moving in the right direction. The EU has been consistently advocating for an unblocking of the situation. We have been engaged in different contacts behind the scenes, in public, and in general we are of the firm conviction that what is important is that the population of Karabakh, the Armenian population of Karabakh, can feel itself secure in the place where they are living, and for that what is important is that there is a genuine dialogue that starts between Baku and Stepanakert, and that is the way forward. In terms of engaging with the people, in terms of getting the people on board, in terms of making them feel secure for their future in the places where they are living.
But is there an agreement regarding to that international format for such a dialogue as Yerevan insists on it?
I think again the most important thing is to look for and to establish a genuine and visible dialogue between Baku and Stepanakert. And I'm also very much encouraged by the fact that President Aliyev emphasized this point in Munich most recently. And therefore that is what we believe should really be the focus of all our efforts, that this kind of dialogue really comes to pass, and that there is again a sense of commitment and a sense of perspective that is provided to the population of Karabakh.
You mean that Ilham Aliyev signs that he is ready for such international mechanism?
Well, that he is committed to an engagement with the population and with representatives of the Armenian population, and that is very important.
My question is which side and how will guarantee this process?
For me, the most important thing is that it is a process that is not taking place only behind closed doors. Obviously, some discussions may be taking place behind closed doors, but I think the most important thing is that it is visible not just to the international community, but above all to the population of Karabakh, but also to the international community, and that in itself is already a way of engaging the international community in different ways.
Coming back to Lachin corridor, Yerevan expects more efficient measures from international partners, like putting pressure on Baku. Do you consider the possibility of sanctions?
Again, I think that we have seen some encouraging developments over the past few days, and I would hope that both goods and people will be able to move along the Lachin corridor freely, as they have in the past, in the next future. And in that context, what is most important is that again, the population feels that they can live securely in their places where they have been living for decades, for centuries, and that any other issues, any also legitimate concerns are addressed at the negotiating table.
On the other hand, only appeals have not produced result for more than 2 months.
Indeed, I mean it's been 2 months. It's a very long time, and again, it's not just a case of appeals. We have been engaged both behind the scenes, or in front of the scenes, and behind the scenes, and I am encouraged by certain developments over the last few days, and I do hope that things will be moving in the right direction.
Ilham Aliyev says that there is an understanding among international partners regarding the issue of placing an Azerbaijani checkpoint in Lachin, as Armenia wants to post a checkpoint on the road connecting Nakhichevan to Azerbaijan. Is there such an understanding, Mr. Klaar?
I don't know whether there is there are discussions with other partners. I can say that from our perspective, first of all, there are certain agreements that have been undertaken in the context of the 9th of November ceasefire agreement, and then there, of course, is the process of negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, which we are actively supporting. So, in the context of these two of that document and of the process, I think that this is an issue that is something that needs to be discussed in that context.
And there is no mention about Azerbaijani checkpoint in Lachin?
In the 9th of November document, there is no such mention. At the same time, of course, again, in the course of negotiations, I don't want to say what is going to happen in the course of negotiations. But I think the important thing is, again, any discussions, any concerns should be addressed in the context of negotiations.
Ruben Vardanyan is dismissed from his post. Is it a sign to start the dialogue between Baku and Stepanakert?
I would hope so. I can say that regardless of the personality of Mr. Vardanyan, we have consistently been advocating for this dialogue to take place, and I have been saying also to interlocutors in Baku that we consider it to be very important that such a dialogue takes place. Again, as I said before, in a public manner, in a way that ensures transparency to the international community, but above all to the population of Karabakh, and so. Again, Mr. Vardanyan's dismissal or not regardless of that fact, it is important that that such a dialogue take place, and perhaps now in the present circumstances that might be easier.
Do you see any progress in the process of peace treaty?
I do see that there have been some developments. There have been exchanges of texts between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and I believe the most recent exchanges that took place in Munich were also quite positive. So in a moderate way, I am, if not optimistic, at least still positively disposed, and believing that things are moving in the right direction. But of course, there are very many questions still on the table, and very many questions that still need to be answered.
If this document envisions Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan, what will guarantee the security of Armenians living there?
I don't want to preclude what a final document will look like. I think that the important thing is that regardless of whether the relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan is approached in one context, and the rights and security of Armenians of Karabakh in another context, regardless of that, the important thing is that there is a comprehensive solution to this conflict that has bedeviled this region for more than 30 years, and it's holding back Armenia, it's holding back Azerbaijan, it's holding back the entire region. So a comprehensive resolution to the conflict is in everybody's interest, and I really hope that we can help in moving this process forward.
Russia complains on an almost daily basis that the goal of the West is to exclude Moscow from the South Caucasus, to take away the mediation of the Karabakh issue.
Well, yes, unfortunately we have seen many such reports, and I have been telling consistently to Russian interlocutors that we see no basis whatsoever for such false allegations. The EU is not engaged in the South Caucasus in some kind of geopolitical game. We are engaged in this process between Armenia and Azerbaijan for the one and simple purpose is to help Armenia and Azerbaijan overcome the conflict. The outcome of this, if once there is a genuine peace, will be a better standard of living for everybody in the South Caucasus. That is in the interests of the people here. That is in the interest of the European Union as a neighbor of the South Caucasus. That is also in the interest of Russia. So as also a neighbor of the South Caucasus. So in short, we see this as a purely positive engagement on our side, and I'm very disappointed that some people in Moscow keep on referring to this in terms that are simply not appropriate.
When the Kremlin is particularly claiming that the deployment of European Union's observers in Armenia can turn into the Caucasus platform for the Russia-West conflict.
Well, I have a hard time seeing how this would happen, except if Russia provokes this through its own actions. Mm-hmm. We have an unarmed mission of 100 people that is here for the sole purpose of promoting greater confidence and stability. It is not aimed against anybody. It is here for the sole purpose of supporting peace, and I do hope that the Russian colleagues also understand this ultimately, because to say that an unarmed observer mission is aimed against anybody is really to stretch facts far beyond their breaking point.
By the way, some experts predict provocation between Europeans observers and Russian bodyguarders, as you mentioned.
Well, my hope is that such things will not come to pass. We are here at the invitation of the Armenian government. We are here in agreement with the Armenian authorities, and the mission is here to support Armenia and to support Azerbaijan in the process towards peace. And I do hope that also the Russians will support this effort.
Russia also emphasizes that the observation mission was not agreed with Baku.
Well, first of all, I am very well. It's very good that Russia is that concerned about this. In fact, I have the feeling that sometimes that Russia is more concerned about this than Baku is. We have consistently been in contact with Azerbaijan about the mission, about our plans for the deployment of this mission, and we are keeping Azerbaijan informed about what the mission is doing and its plans. So while I appreciate Moscow's concerns, I do believe that we are perfectly capable of managing our relationship with Baku on this matter ourselves.
Mr. Klaar, is there a prospect of expanding this mission?
Well, it has just started. Mm-hmm. It has just started, and we will see how it develops. Of course, we are open to the idea of also, for instance, deploying this mission on the Azerbaijani side of the border. But up to now, Azerbaijan has been of the opinion that it does not want to have us deployed there. That is their choice. Armenia's choice is to have our mission here, but we will see what the future will bring.
I mean the EU's armed presence in the region in future.
Well, I don't think that is in the cards at all. I think what we are looking for is, first of all, what my hope would be is that this mission has right now a mandate for 2 years. I would hope that this mission stays here for less than 2 years, because that for the simple purpose that perhaps in less than 2 years we have a peace agreement and we have no more need for such a mission. That is my hope.
Thank you once again for this opportunity. I just remind that our guest was Mr. Toivo Klaar, the European Union Special Envoy to the South Caucasus.